Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, stated that the Rivers State government has withheld the salaries and allowances of the House of Assembly led by Speaker Martins Amaewhule for over a year. Speaking in Port Harcourt over the weekend, Wike noted that despite the challenges, the lawmakers have remained steadfast in their commitment to uphold the independence of the legislature. He indicated that their salaries and allowances were withheld in an attempt to frustrate them and pressure them into begging the state governor Siminaye Fubara. Addressing the lawmakers, Wike said, "You have shown the capacity and independence of a legislature. You have shown that money cannot move you. Other states should emulate you. They seized their salary for 1 year. They seized their allowances. They said they would come and beg. Are you begging today? Will you beg tomorrow? You have shown them we are who we are. Tomorrow, people will look for you. Who are those guys, these guys that stood firm when it mattered most? You may have lost many things. This is the sacrifice you must make. The problem we have in our country today is leaders who don't want to be firm and say this is what we believe in. We won't leave you behind. Rivers leaders are with you every step of the way, ensuring that the people's interests are protected." In his response, Amaewhule said despite their challenges, the lawmakers won't fail the Rivers people nor give up the quest for the rule of law. He expressed gratitude to Wike for his continuous guidance and support and assured him that the Assembly would remain steadfast in making laws that would enhance the well-being of the Rivers people. He emphasized the commitment of the lawmakers to deliver on their legislative mandate freely given to them by their constituents. In his words, "We are grateful for the unwavering support and mentorship of the Honorable Minister, who remains a beacon of leadership." Amaewhule also lauded President Bola Tinubu for his fatherly roles and assured him that the lawmakers will continue to work on the path of peace and the rule of law. Let me start with you, Nze. What do you make of this story?
Thank you very much. I think if I had heard very well from the news, I see the FCT minister speaking as a father to his children, and that's what he's supposed to say to them. But where I differ with him is where he said that their salaries have been withheld for 1 year. Do you withhold the salary of a person who is not an employee of the company, an organization? I have stood my ground in this place to say that since last year, the Amaewhule-led group, the erstwhile assembly members, ceases to be, since their seat was declared vacant by the then Edison Ehie-led assembly. To me, as a person, and to those who believe in what I believe in, they don't exist. So if you say that their salaries have been withheld for 1 year, you are simply trying to whip up sentiment and the feelings from people. But the truth is this: the Amaewhule-led group are not members of assembly. So if Fubara, the governor, had not paid their salaries, he has not done anything wrong until they are certified to be members. But I don't know how they will ever certify them. I don't know who will ever certify them, because to me, even what I see the court doing today, I've seen that the court has derailed to a large extent. The court has derailed. The court is no longer speaking the truth. I see the FCT minister coming to lullaby his boys. Yes, he had to do that because he had to speak courage into them. He had to, keep them standing. And they are still believing that they will wipe. The truth about this is that we found in the administration of FCT minister when he was governor an oligarchy that had been designed to guard the people, to keep the people, to subject the people for a length of days. But suddenly, from among themselves, God has raised a man who will break that oligarchy. So trying to create a wiketocracy is something that we will stand against as a man of the people, advocate of the masses, and the people within me and those who believe in what I believe. We can never allow that to happen. So let the FCT minister, he can go ahead to talk to his people. Nobody quarrels with him. Even if he wants to spend about a whole week and holding a luncheon with them, He's free. He has the money. He's the FCT minister. He's being paid. So let him take care of them.
Right,
but for me, I don't see the people as being held. I mean, the salaries of the people as being held because they are not serving the masses.
All right. And then now, I'll ask you the same question I asked you the last time we were on my show.
All right.
And it appears we.
And I would like you to be. I would like you to be patient enough to take the answer from me.
No, the thing is, it's a yes or no answer.
No. You won't catch me there. You won't catch me
I'm
there.
not caging you.
No, I won't accept yes or no.
Now, the question I want to ask you is there a judgment affirming Martins Amaewhule as Speaker of the House of Assembly, Rivers State?
A wrong judgment.
Okay, so that's a yes. Now, let me come to you, Victor. Let me come to you, Victor. I will still come back to that.
It's all right.
Victor, what do you have to say about this story?
And while he was talking, I was trying to control my thoughts to stick to the conversation talking about Fubara sees the salaries and allowances of the assemblies or state 7 lawmakers. What my mind was telling me repeatedly is, you see how we're focused on individuals that have not been paid, forgetting that these so-called individuals are supposed to be representing a large chunk of the people. I've not heard anybody coming to say 27 members representing social amount of persons of the youth population have been deprived, have suffered, have been deprived of governance, or what is due them because of the inability of proper representation. There's a distortion in the governance of the state. And I'm not seeing anybody crying about it. Whatever Wike has done is what everybody would want to do, to his people. If you have a group of friends that you're with and they are challenging you, of course, just like he rightly said, as a father figure, he would try to talk to them, try to encourage them in their cause. But the problem I have with all of this is, it will always take us back to the question of legality and not. You asked the question, and rightfully so, if there's a judgment, pronouncing Martins Amaewhule as a rightful
Speaker of the House.
Speaker of the House. And the question is a resounding yes. So while I try to avoid all of this drama, you can't, because at the end of the day, you still go back to the cause of this. Why were they deprived of salaries and allowances? Why has the people that they are representing been deprived of several opportunities that they are supposed to get? It's because there's an argument, there's a conversation about their status. And last time I checked, we're a society that is supposedly governed by law. And if there's a judgment, and he has said, he called it a fake judgment.
He said it's a wrong
judgment. I really don't know how to place that in a society, because there are a lot of wrong judgment, there are a lot of wrong laws. Because when you say wrong at this point, it's according to your perception.
It's relative.
It's according to what you think. And in the eyes of the law, or in the way things are structured, it's not really about what you think. It's about what the trained people, because they have been trained to decide what is legal and what is not, and how it's legal, whether we like it or not. There are a lot of people that have had judgment. I mean, some years ago, I had a property somewhere that I had issues with. Went to court. I lost it. It was my property. But because of maybe certain distortion of fact, I lost the property. It wasn't a right judgment, no, but I lost the property because it is the law. I did not go back there shouting and trying to fight over the property because I know I'd lost it and I didn't want to continue in court. So that's my point. If there's a law governing the state, the same law that brought the governor, during the Supreme Court, the Appeal Court, the tribunal, was it not obeyed? He favored him, so it's a right judgment. So for me, what politicians are doing, describing and deciding which part of the law is right or wrong, doesn't make any sense. It is pure, disrespect to the separation and rule of powers and rule of law. So there's a judgment currently saying, look, I listen to when people talk, even lawyers. I studied linguistics and communication, so at least I know my grammar to a large extent and my semantics. When you read that part of the law that talked about defection, it says when they are members, That's what he said. He said they lose their seat when they are no longer members of that party and they become members of another party. The question now becomes legally, how do you become a member of a political party? And at the moment you're able to define and explain by law that this person is a member, you need to have a membership card, you need to have registered, I can come out and say I'm a senator. Does that make me a senator? My point is, if we're sticking to the rule of law, and there has to be respect from both the executive and the legislature, separation of powers. If they are not members, why are they in court? Why are you in court? Remember during the campaigns when we had issues of the qualification of the president, Tinubu, people talked about how he didn't graduate. A lot of things came out. People published different articles, brought out documents. Why is he still the president? Because you cannot prove it. And until you're able to prove that this person doesn't have the qualification, it is not legal. And that is what I'm saying. The governor and, of course, the section of the PDP that took the matter to court, they have not been able to get that judgment to say, yes, these people are members of this party. Yes, I learned Martins Amaewhule actually went to court to say that they are members of the EPC and all of that. But that case has not even been touched as of today.
There's one affidavit. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying there's a matter like that in court that has not been handled.
Swearing an affidavit in this instance, and they are saying it's perjury because now if they swore an affidavit that they have defected, while in the real sense they have not defected according to party constitution, right? Then you can take them to court for perjury.
That's my point. But that would be done through the legal system.
But in this instance, even the window has passed.
No, I said, I'm irrespective of that, it has not been done. And I'm saying this because it is important we understand that as a people, when we have people in power, yes, they want to play any type of politics to maintain power. But the question is the rule of law being followed, right or wrong? As common as I am, as we are, if we have a case in court and the judge gives the judgment, you see how people are shaking because the judgment has come. But why is it that when it comes to the people leading us, it seems like since it's political, since it's not right, in quote, right, we will have to obey it or not? Why is it that the average man on the street will have to, however right or wrong, obey the laws coming out from the court? But when it comes to the people leading us in governance, there will be anarchy if everybody does that. So for me, yes, he has withheld the salaries of the 27 million, right or wrong. But the question is, did he do it? Yes, he did. Are they lawmakers? Yes, they are. And for me, from my own understanding, until a competent court of jurisdiction decides and declares them members of another party, hence they have lost their seat. For me, they are still members. I don't know how else you want to argue it. It's not about emotion or what we believe or what we think a lot of persons think. It's about the reality of the law. And I'm saying if the law is ABC, there's nothing like saying because the law, the judgment is wrong. How do you say a judgment is wrong? How do you say it's a court of law? What we're saying, we agree that the judiciary is not as good as we want it to be. We all agree that. But you cannot use that as a criteria to disregard and discredit the judgment that has come from a competent court of jurisdiction.
All right. I told you to hold that thought. We were still going to get to the question I asked you, wherein I asked you if there was a court judgment or affirming Martins Amaewhule, and you said that it is a wrong judgment. Now, the question would be, let me ask you another question. Are you a law-abiding citizen, Nze?
Yes, of course.
You are a law-abiding citizen?
Very, very law-abiding.
What is the law in this instance?
It depends on what law calls law.
Well, it depends on what law calls law, which means you abide by the precepts of the ground of Nigeria, which is the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
That is not infringing on humanity.
Now, the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria also creates the judiciary and empowers the judiciary to interpret the laws and make judgments. And in this instance, a lower court, a high court, a federal high court, affirmed Martins Amaewhule as the Speaker of the House. The same court ordered the governor to represent the budget amongst other judgments. An appeal court, prior to the last appeal court, had said, and I quote the judgment, he said, with regards to the speakership of Martins Amaewhule, it is not in contention. Now, a second appeal court judgment has clearly stated and affirmed and upheld the judgment of the lower court. In this instance, the judgment of Justice Omotosho of Federal High Court. There's an appeal court upholding that judgment. And if I may also remind you, it was the governor.
What's your question on that? If I may
also remind you, it was the governor that appealed the judgment of Justice Omotosho, and an appeal court upheld that judgment. Now, if you, as I say, you are a law-abiding citizen, and you are sitting on national television, and you are also saying that we will not recognize this judgment, we will not recognize the law in this sense.
You say I say so? Or you are saying
you want
so
me to also replay
behalf?
your video when you also said we can set the law aside if the law does not tally with the Court of Moral Justice. I can remind you of the things you have said.
I said, I hold on to that.
Thank you.
I hold on to that till tomorrow.
Thank you.
Do you know why I have to say that? Because I am a citizen.
Hold on.
I have to stand on that.
You have said prior to this time, set the law aside.
So you should quote me verbatim. Don't add and don't subtract.
I am quoting you. I am quoting you. Don't interject.
All right.
Don't.
You like using the law against me.
Don't deflect the
But remember, when your law is infringing on my rights, I may be forced to interject.
It is not my law. We are all.
Come up with the question you are raising.
You are interjecting.
I'm sorry.
Right now is a monologue. Thank you.
Lorenza.
So now,
authority.
you said that in certain situations that does not align with the Court of Moral Justice, the law can be set aside. You have also said, not once, not twice on my show actually, that you do not recognize the judgment of affirming Martins Amaewhule, and you are also here saying the same thing. That was why I asked you, is there a judgment? You said it is a wrong judgment. Now, I now ask you, are you a law-abiding citizen?
Can I now answer?
You said yes, you're a law-abiding citizen. In face of the last answer you gave to me that you're a law-abiding citizen and every other positions you have made, is that not double speak? Now, if the entirety of Rivers people should tread the path you're doing right now, do you see an end to this conundrum in Rivers State?
Good. Thank you very much.
You may have your say.
Now that I'm having my say, it is a monologue.
Go on.
Don't interject.
Go on.
First, the law or the court is blind. That's why when you see the whatever this in the draw, they always cover the eye. When Martins Amaewhule took this matter to court, he has not defected. So in the blindness of the court, they were not seeing defection. They were seeing a speaker. And they have interpreted it like that. You recall that last time we had a discussion here, I told you that the continuation of that litigation was a deception of the highest order, where I also indicted the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, who meddled into the matter as a father, and asked these two parties to go, the warring parties to go and withdraw their cases from the court. And the governor came and withdrew his own, defense on that matter. He withdrew his. And these people cunningly, craftily upheld theirs and took it to a point where Omotosho had to give judgment. You guys should understand this. Now, when you say that I said I don't recognize the judgment of Omotosho Federal High Court, no, that is a wrong statement being credited to me. I never said that. I said I don't agree with it. And why? When you do not agree with a certain court judgment, you have a room for appeal. And that is there. And that has been used by the governor. He has tried to extend his hand to appeal on this matter. So when we look at how the matter was coming, we are law-abiding, and I also believe that the judgment from the court can be right or wrong. In as much as those who are giving those judgments are fallible, they are not infallible. They are humans. They are like us. They are Nigerians. They are Africans. They eat what we eat, and what influences us influence them. So when money can influence a politician, it is also possible that money can influence a judge. And when money influences, you recall that just last week or thereabout, when the governor was talking, he invoked the power of God, the supreme, into this matter. He said that God will judge. If a human judge has failed in delivering what should be considered the right judgment, let the supreme judge, whose judgment cannot be appealed, judge them. And you see some of them started running here and there. And look, you see, because the governor is holding the mandate of a whole state and he has involved God in this, I stand with him. When God's judgment will come, all of us are here and we will see it. And if the governor who has involved God in this matter comes tomorrow to misbehave, to mistreat the people he is claiming to defend now, the same God he invoked, we will remind God, the man who invoked you, whom you fought for, has started maltreating us. Let your judgment come. So I think what Fubara did in the church last week has tied him round. So when he finishes, when God helps him to liberate him from the clutches of the bad judges who have given wrong judgments that were influenced by corruption, by money, and by all these things, when God has finished dealing with them, God will face Fubara if he should deviate from the tenet of good governance. Because all we need in Rivers State is good governance. Like Victor said here, everybody will come and say 27 lawmakers. No one has ever come to say that these 27 lawmakers are representing 2.5 million, 5.5 million, 10 million Rivers people. Nobody has ever said that. It is the interest. That's why I stand against the oligarchy that these people has formed, where they will subject us and be ruling us, and they will tell us they are the best. Who told you are the best? Who are you wiser than?
All right.
So we are standing on the truth. Even when you say that I'm being emotional, that is your own judgment, and I have not killed you for saying so.
But you have been
accusing me. I'm not emotional. You have not accused me in the show, but behind the camera you do that. So I'm bringing it to limelight that even though you accuse me of being emotional, I know I'm not emotional.
All right.
I know what I am standing for the people.
Okay.
And since people react when they are beaten, you see me react like the people. And after here, once I step out from here, because I have thousands of people watching me online. Once I step out, you see some of them, you talk well, right. You spoke well, you are standing by us, and things like that.
Right.
So let the rating be done. Okay. The judgment of the appeal court is wrong to me. Right. And that is why the governor and his team have moved to the Supreme Court.
All right. And, you know, the irony of the whole thing is you made a lot of statements. You know, you went here, there, here, and you ended up accusing me that you're emotional. And, you know, the thing is, if you know how to play well, you know how to play well. If you're a bad player, you know you're a bad player. So
really?
I guess you're using your mouth to tell yourself that you're emotional right now. Because
I'm not emotional.
Everything you have said.
That is from you.
I never said it. You can never make claim of natural television. I have never accused you of being emotional. However, you have accused yourself of being emotional, and I must applaud your sincerity, by the way. So now, moving on. you have said a lot of things that you cannot actually. Now, you brought God into the matter, emotions.
No, that is reality.
Hold on, there. Bringing God into the matter. You are a reverend, and you know, when reverends delve into these things, I like to separate religion from politics to a large extent.
But you can't separate them.
Hold on. I like to separate religion from politics because now let's look at it critically. The governor, you said the governor is invoking God. Did the governor invoke God when Rivers people said they didn't know him and the questions his emergence into governance? He did not remember God at that time.
Who told you?
Hold on, Nze. He did not remember God at that time, and he never invoked God when Rivers people were questioning his emergence and his authenticity as the governor of Rivers State. I do not want to delve into certain things. You know, you also, the questions will also be asked. Has the governor been obeying court orders? Even the Bible, Nze, that you carry and you preach with, says, obey those in authority. It means that and pray for your leaders. It means that whether you like the judgment or not, there is an authority called the judiciary, and they've given judgment. The Bible instructs you. The Bible that the governor is using to speak as a Christian and invoke the same God through the Holy Spirit, the Christians project said, obey those in authority. One would say, has the governor been obeying court orders? You know, when you're pointing with one finger, the other ones are pointing at you. I'm not making a case, but I am looking at things holistically, because I mean, you have set aside the law.
Can I give you an answer to that
Hold
question?
on. You have set aside the law, and you have delved so much into things that are, if I would say, without so much substance. You know, because at the end of the day, it boils down to the law and the facts. You said the law is blind, which means the law does not delve with God factor. The law does not care about the God factor. The Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is a secular constitution that does not have regards for your religious belief in this instance. And the law has said is a televised defection. It's a televised defection, real defection. What the law is looking at is, was there a defection? If you say yes, prove it. APC has come out to say, these people are not members of the APC, they are not in the party register. How then do you claim they are APC when the party itself is saying they are not APC members? That's on one hand. You talked about the governor, the suit in question, the Omotosho judgment that the governor went to appeal. The question would be, does the governor have the locus to appeal that judgment? Considering the fact that he waived his rights. That was why the appeal court said you cannot approbate and reprobate. Now, I am laying the facts bare for you, what the facts are, so you can actually react on the facts. You are of the opinion that the governor shot himself in the foot by withdrawing his counter affidavit. In that counter affidavit he withdrew, that was when he would have made a case for defection. That was when he would have made a lot of cases that he should have made. But he willingly, there was no gun pointed to his head, withdrew that counter affidavit, thereby waiving his rights in that matter. And in the absence of a counter affidavit, the court gave judgment. And you still come back to say the court is wrong. The court gave judgment based on the facts before it, and not what you say on television. And you come back to say the court is wrong. That's on one hand. Now, like I said, was the gun pointed to the governor to withdraw the matter from court? Saying that the governor willingly chose, part of the peace pact, by the way, was to present the budget to Martins Amaewhule led House of Assembly. The governor did not present that budget. He did not. No gun was pointed to his head. There were some other things in the peace pact that he chose not to obey. So when people whip up sentiments that the governor withdrew, it's not making sense, because there were other things in the budget that the governor did not fulfill, and no gun was pointed to his head. If I might remind you, again, the governor, when he was receiving the entourage from a Jaw community from Bayelsa State, I think that should be DPA also, he told them, he said on national television, he said that he gave the River State House of Assembly a floating, that they cease to exist if he ceases to recognize them. And he said, moving forward, he has de-recognized them. Now, the question will be, if there are separation of powers, what constitutional right does the executive have to de-recognize the House of Assembly? It's just like the executive or the federal government or the president in this instance saying, I de-recognize the National Assembly and I can function without the National Assembly. The governor said that. He did that. And he also said that the peace pact was a political solution and he has chosen not to follow the peace pact. So now, these are the decisions the governor has made. And this has led us to where we are right now. And you are invoking God on a decision the governor made by himself. By the way, when the governor signed that peace pact, you said he's sitting on the mandate of the people. And if you claim the peace pact was not favorable to him, one would expect that the governor will first of all refrain from signing the peace pact and come back to Rivers people, probably have a town hall meeting with stakeholders and say this is what is on the table, what is the way forward. He signed that peace pact, and I will expect a man of that position is enlightened enough to know what he's delving into. And this is where we are in Rivers State. And here you are pushing the facts aside and bringing in the God factor. Having said before, my show said that the law can be set aside. Make it make sense to me.
Thank you very much. You have brought a full basket of things mixed with relevant and irrelevant points.
According to how it suits you.
Yes.
All right.
I will open the basket and select things that I think that matter to me.
All right.
And respond to them.
Go ahead.
Because if we begin to talk on all the points you raised here, you discover that we'll be here till evening. Now, first, let me start with this, Laurentia. When lies are being told, it is sweet to the lips, but its end result pains the anus. In Rivers State, we've seen people come, not just in Rivers State, in Nigeria, we've seen people that we respect. At some point, I stopped calling some of the people that attach honorable to their name. I stopped attaching that honorable. I will call you by your name because there's nothing honorable about it. When a full-fledged man will come out and tell blatant lie, white lie, and expect over 2 million Nigerians to believe it, just the one they have put in your mouth, and you are now presenting it to us, telling us, trying to corner, to round it up, saying that televised defection is not defection, that defection is this and all that and all that.
Did you just accuse me?
No, I didn't accuse you. I didn't accuse you. Let me finish with the point. I didn't accuse you. You are exonerated from it, but listen to me.
All right, go on. Because I needed to get that.
When people come openly to say, I am no longer here, I am now here. Remember, according to you, there was not a gun pointed on their head when they made that decision. And they went out, just as I said last time, they called all the media people who televised them, both print media, electronic media, and social media and all that. They televised them. They came out to say, this is where we are now. They went to court and swore an affidavit that this is where they are. When the chips are down, we will go and resurrect that. Because that affidavit will still have to speak when the chips are down. Now, and somebody will come. I had Tony Okocha coming to say they are not members of APC, blah, blah, blah. I try to woo them. I try to bring them in. Who are you telling that? Are you talking to a kid? So, you see that in this case, the issue of defection still stands. We saw it. They told us, they viewed it, we all watched it, and that being apart. Now, coming to where you are trying to make me have issues with the law, the truth is this. To put it through to you, in Nigeria Constitution, there was God factor, or there is God factor. Because no one swears with the Constitution of Nigeria and not end it, so help me God. No one. Even in our pledge, God is the creator of man and creator of the universe. You can't put God aside on anything. If you dare it, whatever you see, you take. So, if we are talking about constitutional issues and we are bringing God factor, it is very important. When we are talking about law too, we should bring God factor because it is God who enables us to will and to act. So, when God enables a man who is willing to go by the will of God, according to his purpose, that person fulfills the mandate God has for man. But when man begin to be man to himself, just as you are trying to make me think that bringing God into the matter is emotional and sentimental and all that, I will not listen to you. The truth is this: I understand your profession. When you use it to attack me, I will develop a hard skin and push you back. That's the truth. So now God is involved, and God has been invoked into the matter.
All right.
Now, coming to whether the governor was pointed a gun on his head when he withdrew his affidavit from the litigation that was filed by Amaewhule. The point is that we are trying to speak lie and make it look like truth. And the truth is that darkness can never be light.
All right.
Now, the governor said I will obey the political solution that the president had brought. But let's begin. You have to count one, then you count two. The governor withdrew his affidavit. He recalled in fact, he resubmitted the names of the commissioners who willingly, on their own, resigned because they felt that the oligarchy was being threatened. They resigned, and the president mandated the governor. The governor was humble enough. Remember, the governor is true that the office of the president is higher than the governor, but the governor is an executive of a state. But he was forced to mess himself up like that, and he did. And these people trickishly, they say once bitten, twice shy. Nobody will allow stick to choke him in the eye 2 times. In fact, you asked a question when the governor was being presented to the Rivers people that never liked him, whether he vote God. I told you in this station, I didn't vote for the governor, and I'm saying it to the whole world. I stood against PDP in that 2023 election. My reason is because Wike had ruled his own way, and we never liked it, and he is bringing a stooge. And we stood against it, we fought against it. Till today, I'm still saying it categorically in national television that the PDP in Rivers State is sitting on Labour Party mandate.
All right.
So now that he has been forced on us, and we watched him, he came up and started behaving like a good child. Look, I am not a politician for political party's sake. If I'm in politics because of the people. Just as I told you that you cannot separate religion from politics. Because religion is about the people, politics is about the people.
Right.
So they share common interest. So it is on that basis, one, we have to understand it, that the governor, now that he is considering the people and he's trying to fight for the people, we will support him and make sure that we snatch power from these people that have kept us bound over time.